If you've been watching the markets, you know the global AI investment tsunami isn't slowing down. Not at all.
No, it's huge.
We're talking billions
Right.
flowing into generative AI, LLMs, these powerful models like GPT-4. But here's the unexpected wrinkle maybe. All that technical firepower has opened up this gaping hole in corporate strategy.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is the sheer velocity, you know? The speed of the resulting skills arbitrage. That's what we're seeing.
Skills arbitrage, okay.
Companies are pouring capital into the technology, the tools, basically, but they lack the human professionals needed to bridge that enormous divide.
The gap between
the data scientists, the folks actually building the infrastructure, and the executive teams who need to make sure that infrastructure translates into, well, market advantage, profit.
Right.
It's a classic bottleneck problem, really. The technical expertise is just way ahead of the strategic vision right now.
And that bottleneck, which sounds like it's bleeding companies dry,
It is.
is creating this massive gold rush. But, and this is key, focused almost entirely on non-coders.
That's the surprising part for many.
So our mission today is to deep dive into this indispensable new role, the AI translator.
Right.
We need to analyze the specific high-leverage non-technical skills, the ones commanding some of the highest financial premiums out there.
Right. And the core function, if you boil it down, for the AI translator is interpretation, communication.
The bridge.
They are the essential conduit, yeah. They often go by titles like AI product manager, maybe generative AI specialist, or director of AI strategy, perhaps.
But crucially, not coding.
Crucially, their job is not to code. Their whole purpose is ensuring that every single AI project solves a real-world business pain point.
Okay.
Not just some, interesting technical challenge an engineer found somewhere online.
Uh-huh.
They own the why.
Yeah.
And they define the how of that implementation, but strictly from a business perspective.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But isn't there sometimes pushback, from the technical teams maybe seeing this business person telling them how to structure their technical roadmap?
Sometimes, sure, initially.
So why is this bridging role so financially valuable? Why pay that premium just to have this person in the room?
Because the cost of getting it wrong is just astronomical. You brought a pushback, right. But the alternative is far worse. Organizational silos.
Ah, right.
We've seen major firms spend, upwards of $5 million, maybe 6 months of dev time, only to realize the neural network they built solves some abstract coding puzzle.
And not the CEO's core Q3 profitability goal.
Exactly, like reducing customer churn or whatever the actual business need was. The translator prevents that waste. They're the ones ensuring every technical minute spent has a clear, measurable return on investment.
Okay, so if the data scientists are building the engine, the AI translator is kind of the product director, setting the specific financially sound destination, which suggests the foundational requirement isn't Python. It's P&L.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. The first requirement is rock-solid business acumen and strategy, period.
Can't fake this.
No, you cannot effectively translate AI capabilities into business value if you don't fluently speak the language of profit and loss, market trends, competitive intelligence, all of it.
Okay.
They need to be able to look at the market, look at the business operations, and identify those few specific pain points where a probabilistic AI system, something based on chance prediction, pattern recognition, is genuinely the highest return solution, not just AI for AI's sake.
Okay, walk us through a moment of translation then. Let's say the leadership team comes down with a mandate. We need generative AI, got to stay competitive. What's the translator's first move?
Good question. They pivot away from the tech immediately. Yeah. They investigate the financial pain points first.
Yep.
Where's the money being lost? Where's the inefficiency? Maybe they discover, say, 30% of the sales team's time is wasted crafting customized first contact emails. Just an example.
Okay, I can see that.
Right. So the translator realizes that AI doesn't need to be some fancy chatbot answering general questions. It needs to be a hyper-efficient content generation engine specifically for the sales team.
Targeted.
Exactly. They link the tech, the LLM in this case, directly to reduced operational expenditure and hopefully increase sales output. They start with the $sign, not the database.
Fantastic. So strategy first, business case locked down. But then how do they communicate that vision and all the necessary complexity down the chain to the tech teams? What are those specialized non-coding skills linking the big strategy to the actual execution.
Right, that's where these 3 specialized bridge skills come in. And the first one, everyone is scrambling to hire for this right now, is advanced prompt engineering.
Okay, prompt engineering.
We hear that a lot. We do. Now, this is not coding in the traditional sense, let's be clear, but it is necessary technical literacy.
Okay.
The translator doesn't write Python or R code, but they absolutely must understand the capabilities and, maybe more importantly, the limitations, the failure modes of tools like Gemini or GPT-4.
Why is that specific literacy so valuable, though? I mean, we've all used basic prompts, type things into ChatGPT.
Yeah, but basic prompts get basic, often unreliable results for business. Think about it. If a model tends to hallucinate, confidently invent facts when asked to summarize complex legal documents.
Which they do.
Which they definitely can do, yes. The translator can't just ignore that risk. They have to design the entire operational flow, the prompt chain itself, to specifically mitigate that risk.
Oh.
Well, maybe by forcing the model to cite specific paragraphs from the source data with every claim it makes, or breaking down the task into smaller, verifiable steps. It's about being an expert architect of the AI's input and output.
I see.
Ensuring the results are consistent, accurate, and repeatable enough for high-stakes business use, not just cool demos.
So they're like the quality control gate for the AI's interaction with the world.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the actual human interaction, the second skill, communication and stakeholder management. We always hear communication is key, but why is this the essential high-value soft skill right now in this context?
Because almost no one else can do it effectively in this space. They have to simplify incredibly complex concepts. Think about explaining the statistical workings of a neural network, or maybe transformer architecture.
Yeah, good luck with that.
To non-technical executives, or the marketing teams, or, crucially, the legal counsel. If the C-suite signs off on a multi-million-dollar AI project without truly understanding the technical risks involved.
You could be signing off on a massive liability.
Exactly. A huge potential liability. So fostering that clear cross-functional understanding isn't just nice to have, it's mandatory to prevent disaster.
And speaking of disaster,
Yeah.
the third specialized skill, this one feels like it's becoming non-negotiable in every job description. Ethical and risk literacy.
Yes. Non-negotiable is the right word.
This is where the strategy and the sort of moral compass overlap, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is truly high-stakes territory. This is where the company's reputation and its compliance live or die.
Wow.
See, AI models are trained on historical data, right? And if that data reflects historical societal biases, say a history of favoring certain demographics in hiring decisions or loan applications,
Which it often does.
which it almost always does to some extent, yes, the AI will learn, operationalize, and then scale that bias automatically, often invisibly.
And that creates immediate, serious legal issues when the AI is used for sensitive decisions, like who gets a job offer.
But who gets approved for a mortgage? Yeah. If the company's shiny new AI hiring tool starts systematically rejecting a specific group of qualified applicants based on protected characteristics it learned from biased training data.
The company is facing immense regulatory fines, lawsuits, a PR crisis.
Precisely. Huge liability. So the AI translator in this context is effectively the risk manager and the compliance officer of the machine.
That's a heavy responsibility.
It is. Their responsibility is identifying these inherent biases before deployment, mitigating them where possible, and being transparent about the risks that remain. They are responsible for setting up responsible AI practices, ensuring compliance with global privacy standards like GDPR, implementing fairness guidelines, all of it.
They're the essential first line of defense against the AI causing unintended harm.
Exactly, against regulatory fines and major ethical setbacks.
Okay, so we see the strategic need, the communication necessity, the ethical imperative. But if they aren't writing the code itself, what are the concrete deliverables they actually produce? What justifies that extraordinary financial premium we talked about?
Yeah.
Let's look at maybe 3 tangible outputs.
Right. Good question. Their deliverables are strategic mandates, process documents, risk frameworks, not algorithms. So first, product requirements. This is huge.
Okay.
When an executive vaguely says we need AI to reduce fraud, that's useless to a data scientist.
It's too vague.
Totally. The translator translates that vague intention into a clear, measurable technical specification. For example, build a classification model to detect fraudulent transactions with an F1 score of 0.95. Specific, measurable.
Okay, hold on. For the non-data scientists listening, myself included, sometimes that sounds pretty technical. An F1 score of 0.95. Why does that specific metric tell the business strategically what they need to know about fraud?
Great question. Because an F1 score isn't just some abstract number, it's a specific blend, a balance between precision and recall.
Precision and recall, meaning?
In a fraud scenario, precision is about minimizing false positives, wrongly flagging a legitimate customer as a fraudster, which is annoying. Recall is about minimizing false negatives, letting actual fraud slip through, which costs money.
The trade-off.
Exactly. There's always a trade-off. Aiming for an F1 score of 9.5 means the translator, working with the business, has determined the acceptable balance between annoying good customers and losing money to bad actors.
I see.
It turns that fuzzy objective, reduce fraud, into a cost-controlled, measurable goal the tech team can actually build towards and be evaluated against.
Got it. That connects the tech metric directly to the dollar impact.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the second deliverable?
Second, model evaluation and metrics. Beyond just the initial target, like F1 score, they define what success looks like over time. They design human-in-the-loop processes. Meaning real people, experts usually, are checking the model's outputs, especially in the beginning or for tricky cases before it fully takes over or makes a final decision.
Okay, oversight.
Crucial oversight. And they design custom safety metrics. They define things like the hallucination rate. How often does the AI confidently invent convincing but false facts? Or the toxicity score, measuring the model's tendency to generate harmful, biased, or inappropriate content.
Things you definitely want to track.
You have to track them. They ensure the model not only performs correctly according to the business school, but also safely and reliably over time. Continuous monitoring.
Makes sense. And the third deliverable, linking back to those critical ethical duties we discussed, must be related to those guardrails.
Exactly right. Risk mitigation frameworks. They don't just wait for bias to show up. They proactively identify potential training data biases before the model is even built.
Right.
Like ensuring a hiring model isn't trained only on data from one specific university or region or demographic group if the goal is broader recruitment. They then implement strategies, maybe data augmentation or algorithmic adjustments to promote fairness and ensure compliance before that model ever touches a real candidate or a real business pipeline.
So they're building the ethical guardrails into the process from the start.
They have to. They are essentially creating the mandatory safety protocols that prevent lawsuits, fines, and reputational damage down the line.
The value proposition is crystal clear now. They make the technical investment profitable, they make it understandable across the org, they make it ethical and compliant. Okay, let's get to the motivator. What's the actual financial reward for mastering this complex blend of strategy, communication, and risk management?
Yeah, the market definitely reflects this scarcity and the sheer necessity of the role. Professionals who can effectively translate AI capabilities into reliable, safe business value command a significant, get this, 25% wage premium.
Wow. 25%.
25%, often more, compared to their non-AI skilled counterparts in equivalent strategic or product roles.
That is a game-changing jump.
Yeah.
Just for mastering a specialized non-coding skill set.
It really is. We're seeing salaries frequently exceeding $120,000, pushing towards $150,000 or more annually for experienced roles. Things like AI product managers, AI strategy directors.
And this is a growing trend.
Absolutely. It's one of the fastest growing salary trends in the professional world today because companies are realizing the risk of implementing AI incorrectly. The financial risk, the legal risk, the ethical risk is far, far more expensive than paying a premium to someone who can ensure it's done right, safely, profitably.
Yeah.
So if we just, connect this back to the bigger picture, the AI translator really is arguably the most valuable resource in the current tech landscape because they synthesize these different worlds. Strategic thinking, deep risk oversight, and that crucial cross-functional communication. They are the essential mechanism, the gearbox, if you will, that turns raw computing power into reliable, compliant business growth. Without them, it's just potential energy or potential disaster.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening right now? The AI translator role isn't just about commanding that incredible wage premium, though that's obviously appealing. It's really about holding the essential key, the key that prevents these incredibly powerful AI models from becoming immediate legal or ethical liabilities for major organizations. The technical tools, the models, they're becoming more available, almost commodities in some ways.
That's true.
But the strategic navigation, the ethical foresight, the human judgment, that is what determines success versus failure, or worse. So the final thought for you is, what practical steps do you need to take, starting today, to gain that crucial business acumen, that ethical literacy, that communication skill required to become that indispensable bridge in this rapidly evolving AI economy? Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.